staff, management, and advertisers.
All right, what's going on, everybody? A very happy Thursday. It is Pushing the Limits. Thank you so much for being here, part of the Occupy Democrats Network, the Washington Press Network, of course, the AM/FM dial KSHP, and the personal YouTube page, which is at PTL Radio Show. We appreciate you being a part of the program. We're going to have a nice spirited debate here coming up here in just a few minutes. Boy, there is a lot to get to today. There's a lot to talk about. Donald Trump holding a press conference this morning, basically saying Elon Musk has Trump derangement syndrome. As I said, the bromance is over. And then Elon Musk coming back at Donald Trump with a number of different tweets today, one of which saying Trump has 3.5 years left as president, but I'll have the next 40 years, and talking about this big, beautiful bill that obviously he doesn't think anybody should pass or vote for. So certainly we're going to be dissecting that. We're going to be talking about that. There's a lot of other stuff to get to as well, and we have a lot of audio to play for you, and certainly a lot to cover. We're also in the YouTube Super Chat where your questions and comments will be heard. The pushingthelimits.live website. So a lot to get to, as I mentioned, and a lot to go over today. So to talk to us a little bit about this, and apparently the bromance appearing to be over, his name is Carmine Sabia. He's done this radio show before. He is a Christian, self-proclaimed Christian and conservative, a journalist and editor, and of course a radio and TV pundit. It's been a little while since we had Carmine on the show. Carmine, thank you for being here. How are you?
I am busy, if you can imagine, but I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. It's been a little while. We are both busy. It's there's a lot to talk about today and a lot to get to. What do you make of the Elon Musk, Donald Trump bromance being over, and basically Donald Trump saying he has Trump derangement syndrome? I'm wondering what you make of that.
So it's actually happening in real time. Trump has just threatened to cut off Elon's subsidies. Government subsidies, and Elon says, go ahead, make my day, because it would also end the International Space Station and provide no safe way to deorbit.
What do you make of this?
Because we gave up NASA.
What do you make of this? I gave Elon Musk 6 months. It's been less than that. Elon Musk donated somewhere around $300 to $400 million to Donald Trump's campaign, and he makes the claim online today, and I believe what he's saying when he says, if it wasn't for me, Trump wouldn't have won. I actually agree with that. What do you make of that?
I disagree with that. I disagree with that completely, because Harris was never ahead, ever. Not 1 month. Not for a day was she ahead in the polls. So I disagree with that. But I will say this. I'm not shocked it ended this way. I said months ago, no relationship that Trump has ever ends amicably. Which is unfortunate, just because, big personalities and whatnot. But in this particular case, I'm putting the blame on Elon Musk, and I'll tell you why. Mike Johnson walked out of a meeting today, and he said he was going to call Elon on the phone. And what I said is, and I don't know if you're reading my tweets, but I said that to me screams oligarchy. Elon Musk is not a branch of the government. It doesn't have to pass the House, the Senate, get the president's signature, and also pass Elon Musk. He's not a branch of government. So all this deference paid to him, as far as I'm concerned, is, by the way, he hasn't been barking for the past 2 hours. All this deference paid to him, to me, is crazy. Yeah, you did your part and you were part of government, but you weren't that part of the government, and you're not in government anymore. And I think at a certain point, it's just gotten too far. He's not a part of the government. And so when Bernie Sanders says oligarchy, you're proving his point here. If he has to, and I think George Soros, pulled a lot of strings. Okay,
but hold on.
In
a lot of,
but he did it quietly.
But Carmine, this is what Democrats and anti-Trumpers like myself have been saying for months. He was not a part of the government, yet he was allowed to have all of our personal information. He had all this power. We were told he was going to save $2 billion. Then it went, or $2 trillion. I'm sorry. Then it went down to $1 trillion. Then it went down to $140 billion. Most people say at a maximum, maybe $70 billion was saved. This is a failure. Why can't MAGA Republicans just admit that this was a failure? And DOGE did absolutely nothing, and Elon Musk was only out for himself.
I don't believe it was a failure. I believe it was, I believe any failure from it is because Democrats and Republicans are together on one key thing. They both would like to keep the gravy train rolling.
But
and
Elon,
neither of them really want to cut anything.
But they're the ones who made the promises that they were going to cut $2 trillion. They're the ones who said it. Donald Trump, Elon Musk, people in his administration, we're going to cut $2 trillion. Then it went down to $1 trillion and then $140 billion. How is that not a failure?
It's a failure. It is a failure, but it's a failure because, they had their reasons for wanting to do it. You understand? But it's a failure because the government, the people in the government, the people in Congress did not want to get on board with it. They didn't want to make the cuts permanent.
Okay. I mean, I appreciate you admitting that it was a failure. I certainly agree with that. But I'm wondering, are you okay with like 10 million people losing their Medicaid? Let's talk about this bill for a moment. Even some MAGA Republicans like Lankford admitted that, yeah, at least 10 million people could be losing their health care, their Medicaid. Are you comfortable with that?
Yes.
Why?
Because listen, they have to meet eligibility requirements. If they don't meet the eligibility requirements, it gets cut. I think there's a lot of people. I've known people in my life on Medicaid who have taken Medicaid without really needing it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, in other words, they could have worked. They could have worked, and they didn't.
So you think there are people out there that just don't want to work? They just want to sit down and do absolutely nothing? You think there's a bunch of young people out there that would rather not have a job and not have any regular income and just enroll in Medicaid? You really think there's a lot of people in this country that are just sitting on their ass? They don't want a job and they don't want income, but give me that free Medicaid. You really believe that, Carmine? Because I don't.
Where were you born and raised, bro?
Where was I born and raised?
Yeah.
I don't know what that has to do with it, but I was born and raised in Connecticut.
That's a pretty nice area. I was born and raised in the ghetto. Yeah. And what I can tell you is there's a lot of people, yes, a lot of people that fall into that category.
All right, so hold on.
100%.
Help me understand this. So you're saying that of the 10 million plus people that are on that could be losing their Medicaid, you think a majority of those people, number one, don't have a job. Number two, don't want a job. Number three, don't want a regular income. And they're just sitting on their ass concentrating on the fact that they're enrolled in Medicaid. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying there's more people than you think. There are also illegal immigrants that are on Medicaid. I also don't believe 10 million people are going to lose their Medicaid. That's a could. And I'll tell you this, what I have heard my entire life, when I talk to Democrats or when I watch Democrats on TV or anytime Republicans want to pass something, they're going to kill everybody. Everybody's going to die. Oh, they're going to take away Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid. I've been following politics, Brian, since I'm 5 years old. I don't know why. Always liked it. Always liked following politics. I've been hearing about the Republicans are going to take away Social Security and Medicare for 42 years. I'm 47. 42 years I've been hearing.
Well, MAGA Republicans are admitting that. MAGA Republicans are admitting that. Lankford admitting that earlier today. Brett Guthrie admitted that on Medicaid cuts. There are people that are doing interviews that are staunch Trump supporters that are on Fox News admitting that there's probably going to be at least 10 million people that are going to lose Medicaid. So these are not Democrats and liberals that are now saying this. It's actually in the bill. It's a fact. It's in the bill. That's exactly what's going to happen. And I just respectfully disagree with you. If the argument is, well, there's a lot of these people that are just lazy and they don't want to work and they're just getting that free health care. Well, okay, there's still a lot of people out there that depend on this for their livelihood and for their lives. And it's, affecting poor people and people that are struggling, and the rich get richer. And I just think this bill is a joke. Trillions and trillions of dollars. We're going to get more into debt. We were told that this would cut the deficit. We know that's not going to happen. And this is a guy who got us $8.2 trillion in debt in 4 years. So where are all those conservatives out there that are fiscally responsible when Trump gets us $8.2 trillion in debt, and every single platform out there that is non-biased is saying this will get us into more debt, trillions of dollars in debt?
Whoa. Who's biased? Which the CBO is biased? CBO is run by a Trump hater.
Find me an organization. Find me one organization that is credible that took a look at this bill and says this will actually cut the deficit. Find me one.
CBO.
They didn't say it was going to cut the deficit. I don't know what you're talking about, Carmine. The CBO did not say.
Right.
They didn't say it was going to cut the deficit.
Cut the deficit. You're right. Sorry.
In fact, they said the opposite, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it would spike the deficit.
Along with every other organization out there that has credibility that has said that this is going to get us into more debt. Now, I listen, I don't know what Elon Musk's, I think I do know why he's upset, because this hurts his own bottom line and some of his own companies. But regardless of that, he's right. This is ridiculous. We keep hearing from conservatives and MAGA Republicans about the deficit and about wasteful spending. This bill is not big and beautiful. It's a bill that'll get us more into debt, Carmine. You can't be okay with that.
No, I'm not okay with getting more debt. The problem is you have to pass something, okay? And where we're sitting right now, we can't pass anything. And that's really the unfortunate part in this case. We can't pass anything, and you have to pass the bill. But I think changes have to be made, right? Because it is too much in terms of what it's going to spend. I agree with Elon on that. I agree with Rand Paul on that. Here's the problem that nobody wants to face. You do have to cut entitlements, and you've got to actually cut them more than you're cutting them in this bill.
Why not tax the rich?
Real problem.
Why not tax the rich a little bit more? Even somebody like Steve Bannon.
Your answer to everything, right?
No,
everything.
Steve Bannon agrees with me. There are some Republicans out there that agree. Why would we cut food stamps? Why would we cut welfare? Why would we cut programs for the most vulnerable people in this country while continuing to give the biggest tax breaks to the top 1% and tech billionaires? Why is it that Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans continue to do that? Attack the most vulnerable people in this country. Why is that, Carmine? Why can't the rich pay their fair share?
Let me ask you a question. Maybe you could be the first Democrat that would do this for me.
Well, I'm not a Democrat.
I'm going to give you the opportunity to be the first Democrat in history to ever do this. Or
not a Democrat.
Or whatever you want to call yourself.
But go ahead. Yep.
Okay, liberal. You're obviously a liberal, right?
No. I'm not a liberal either. No, I'm not.
Right,
I lean to the left on social issues. I'm very anti-Donald Trump.
Okay. But you'll be the first non-Trumper that can answer this question for me.
Okay.
What's the fair share? Give me a number.
Sure.
Give me a percentage.
Sure. I'll give you a number and I'll make it very easy for you. If you're in this country making $40,000 a year, you shouldn't be paying a higher percentage on taxes than a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. If you're making under $400,000 a year, Kamala Harris put this in her plan where she wanted to lower the tax breaks for those families making under $400,000 a year household income and make sure that if you're in the top 1%, you're paying a higher percentage than somebody that's making minimum wage. It's a very simple thing. If you want everybody in this
number, I asked for a number.
Kamala Harris put it down to 26%. That was in her proposal. She wanted to make taxes for those making under $400,000 a year at 26%. The richest people in this country are paying a lower percentage on taxes than somebody making minimum wage. And that is not the country that I want to live in. And that is what MAGA Republicans want. And I am sick of it.
My accountant would disagree with you, and so would my bank account.
Well, then your accountant lies like Donald. Then your accountant doesn't know what he's talking about, and he defends Donald Trump. Because look at the numbers yourself. Look at somebody like Jeff Bezos or even
I know what I paid in taxes, Brian. I know what I paid in taxes.
Okay, I don't know how much money you're making. I'm talking about the top 1% in this country that are paying a lower percentage in taxes than somebody making a minimum wage. I have a serious problem with that. Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos would admit it. Mark Cuban has admitted it. He pays a lower percentage on taxes than somebody in this country that makes $25,000 a year. That is a problem, Carmine. And it needs to be addressed.
I disagree, bro. The percentage, you're still getting a lot of money from them.
But they're paying a lower percentage. Of course you're getting a lot of money because of what they make. Everybody in this country, if everybody paid the same percentage on taxes, that would be a lot more fair than what is going on in this country right now. When I say the rich need to pay their fair share, I'm not talking about the amount of money they are putting into it. I'm talking about the percentage of the money. Those are two completely different things. Donald Trump has given the largest loopholes for CEOs of Fortune.
What do you think the top 1% makes? What do you think the top 1% makes a year?
I'm talking about millionaires and billionaires. That's what I'm talking about. The top 1%.
Okay, but the top 1% is not necessarily millionaires.
So the top 1% are those that are making over $400,000 a year.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm in that. I got to pay a higher tax rate for what? I came from poverty, bro.
I didn't say you need to pay a higher tax rate than me. I said at a minimum, you should be paying an equal tax rate of somebody that is making minimum wage. That is not what is going on in this country. I think that's a very fair place to start. Donald Trump, again, has given some of the biggest tax loopholes and tax breaks to the top 1% in this country. You should be paying the same tax rate at a minimum than somebody who's working at Walmart making $8 an hour. And if you disagree with that, I find that repulsive. I really do.
My tax rate is higher, okay? Considerably higher, okay? You're talking minimum wage workers pay about 4%, their effective federal income tax rate. The effective federal income tax rate for top 1% is 23.1%. That's a gigantic gap.
You are making the case that if you're making, you are making the case that if you make 25 or 30 grand a year, you're only paying 4% in taxes. And if you're a billionaire, you're paying 27% in taxes. Is that what you're saying? Because that's not true.
I'm saying that's the effective federal income tax rate.
Okay, I'm talking about collective, the taxes that a billionaire has to pay compared to somebody that's making $40,000 a year. You could look this up if you don't believe me. A billionaire is paying a lower percentage on taxes than somebody that's making 20, 30, 40 grand a year. Carmine, that's wrong. It's wrong. Well, you can say you don't believe it, but there's people out there that don't believe that Trump lost the 2020 election either. We can have a difference of opinion. That's fine. That's why I wanted to have you on. But I'm not making stuff out of thin air. Donald Trump gave some of the biggest tax breaks to the top 1% in this country 4 years when he was in office. The biggest loopholes, tax loopholes for CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. He's not giving those same tax breaks to people that are struggling, that are living paycheck to paycheck. And going back to this bill, when over 10 million people could lose their health care, could lose their Medicaid, you seem to be totally okay with that, but you don't want somebody making over $400,000 a year paying an equal percentage of taxes of somebody that is making minimum wage. I think that's ridiculous.
I did a quick look. Let me ask you a question. Who was president in 2010?
Who was president in 2010? I'd have to do a little bit of math on that. I'm going to assume, was that Barack Obama or was that George W. Bush?
In 2010, that was Obama.
Obama. That was he was in office for 2 years, correct? I'm waiting.
He was elected in 2008.
I'm waiting for the whataboutism, but go ahead.
Okay. So from 2010 to 2018, President Obama was in office till 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 400 of the wealthiest U.S. families paid an average federal income tax rate of 8.2%.
Mm-hmm.
Democrats, for a time there, had the House, had the Senate, had the White House.
For a time.
And yet billionaires paid 8.2%.
Mm-hmm.
So whose fault is that? That Donald Trump's fault?
So how long did Democrats have the House and the Senate for when Barack Obama was president? And when
2 years, they could have passed something.
Okay. And
Barack Obama was in power.
Mm-hmm.
He was in power till 2017.
So okay. I know that Barack Obama was trying to raise taxes for the wealthiest in this country. I know that because that's 100%. They tried to pass bill after bill. But even if that was the case, and even if you want to put blame on Barack Obama, it doesn't change my opinion on what's going on in this country right now. Doesn't change my opinion.
You're blaming just Donald Trump when I'm telling you it goes from administration to administration.
Right now, Donald Trump is the president of the United States. That's why we're talking about Donald Trump. If you wanted to talk about Joe Biden before Trump got in office and taxes, I would have been happy to do that. But Trump had the biggest tax breaks for the top 1% in decades.
But what you're saying is that Trump is giving tax breaks to his friends. And what I'm saying to you is this is a administration to administration problem. It happens every administration.
So why don't you apply that when it comes to illegal immigration? If it happens from administration, why don't you apply that to immigration then? Because it was a problem under George W. Bush. It was a problem under Barack Obama and Joe Biden, and it will continue to be a problem. Why don't you give that same energy to the fact that we have issues at the border and stop just blaming Joe Biden then, if you want to go by that theory of, well, this is a problem in every administration. Okay.
So I do give that across the board to every administration. Republicans and Democrats have both benefited from illegal immigration, which is why they didn't want to solve the problem. Biden made it exponentially worse. Barack Obama tried to solve it. Bill Clinton tried to solve it. Joe Biden kicked the door open and held it. There's a giant difference with what happened on the Biden administration than previous. Oh, come on.
I disagree
That
with
would happen
that.
to previous Democratic administrations. It's provable fact.
Are you okay with America? Are you okay with people in this country not having due process? Are you okay with him ripping up parts of the Constitution?
I am not okay with suspending habeas corpus, and I've said that publicly.
Are you okay with somebody in this country, a human being, not getting the right to due process?
Are they citizens?
In the Constitution, it doesn't say citizen; it says person, which is why I'm phrasing the question accurately based on our Constitution.
I believe the founders thought citizen was probably understood. I don't think if you're not a citizen in this country,
okay,
you're not,
Carmine, you can't change Carmine, you can't change the wording of the Constitution to fit your narrative or your answer. I'm going by exactly what the Constitution says. It says person.
They could have often. The Supreme Court has to decide what the founders intended, and I believe they intended that. You respect. I think they believed it was understood.
So you respect the Supreme Court and what they decide, correct?
I don't always agree with it,
but you have to respect it, right? Is that okay? Good.
Yeah.
So when they decide 9-0 that Donald Trump has to help facilitate the return of Mr. Garcia, and he ignores that, what do you think about that? Since I'm just curious.
That's not what they decided. That's not what they decided.
No, they did. That's actually the actual verbatim wording. That facilitate. The Trump administration has to help facilitate the return of Garcia.
He has to do his best. He has to do his best to facilitate it.
And what did he do? What did he do?
He did his best.
What did he do?
He asked the Ecuadorian president.
No, he didn't.
Ecuadorian president said, can't do it.
No, he didn't.
That's it.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. You know that's not true. You're not being honest. If Donald Trump wanted Garcia to come back, all he would have had to have said was bring him back. You know that's not what happened. You're not being honest.
If Garcia comes back, can he live with you, the gangbanger?
Okay, so
the wife abuser?
Okay, so was he convicted in a court of law of abusing his wife?
The human trafficker?
Was he convicted in a court of law of anything that you are referring to?
Oh, so you don't believe all women? You think his wife just filed 2 restraining orders?
Was he convicted in a court of law? Why won't you answer that question?
You believe his wife was lying? Do you believe his wife was lying?
I will answer your question, but first I would like to ask you: was he convicted on any of those?
No, he wasn't convicted in a court of law. You think his wife was lying?
So we've come to the conclusion that even though there's not a conviction, you're just going to assume that he's guilty. Whatever happened to innocent until proven guilty? Number 2, it's his own wife that wants him back. So his own wife wants him back.
A lot of abused women protect their abusers.
So you believe her then? You believe a woman when she says she was abused? Is that a fair characterization?
I believe this woman.
But you don't believe any woman that's come forward that says Donald Trump has abused them. There's 25 women that have come forward that have claimed that Donald Trump abused them or raped them. Do you believe any of them?
Because there's a financial incentive for them. What's the financial incentive for this gang?
Not true. The only person that got a financial incentive, there were 2 people, was E. Jean Carroll, who was found Donald Trump liable of sexual abuse, and Donald Trump's ex-wife.
You really believe E. Jean Carroll? Seriously, you really believe E. Jean Carroll?
Okay, so if it fits your narrative, you don't believe any of the women that claim Donald Trump raped them. But if it's a minority who was sent to an El Salvador prison,
minority, get out of here with that nonsense.
Is it not a minority?
He's a minority.
Well, the Donald Trump
gangbanger.
And where was that proven in a court of law?
A court found that it was more likely than not that he was a member of
That's not what I asked you. What was it found in a court of law that he is a, quote, gangbanger? By the way, you can be in a gang. That's not against the law. You actually have to commit a crime. Okay, that's not a crime. Are
you familiar with MS-13? Do you know how MS-13 works?
Where has it been proven that he is an MS-13 member in a court of law in the United States of America? Going back to my due process question.
Well, I mean, the symbols on his knuckles stands for MS-13. That's a clue.
Not true.
No,
that is
true.
That has been completely debunked, and that is not true. And Donald Trump
has not been debunked.
Completely debunked, and that is not true. And by the way, just because you have tattoos, so if I have a tattoo on my forehead that says MS-13, does that mean I should be shipped to an El Salvador prison as well? My producer has tattoos on his arm. It's a clue. So if you get a clue in the United States of America, a clue unproven in a court of law, we can send you to one of the most highest maximum security prisons in the world with no due process. And Carmine is okay with that.
Brian, he doesn't have a right to be here to begin with. You're talking about bringing a guy back. He doesn't have a right.
He doesn't have a right to be here to begin with. So we should be able to give him no due process and send him to one of the highest maximum security prisons in the world. What about the gay?
He had deportation orders already.
He did not have
He
due
said
process.
no.
He did not have due process. And regardless of what you might think of him, he did not have due
He had
process.
due process.
No, he did not have due process. And how about the gay hairstylist who had 2 tattoos on his body, came in through a legal port of entry, tried to do it the right way, seeking asylum, 2 tattoos that said mom and dad. He is now in an El Salvador prison, never been convicted of a crime in his life, a non-violent criminal. Are you going to make excuses for him being shipped to El Salvador as well?
I felt bad for that guy.
Okay, so you feel bad for him. It's one thing to feel bad, though, but don't you think that maybe the Trump administration should send these people back? And maybe if they
you and I both know, if even one of those people comes back, then in a court of law, that would prove that the administration can get people back, and then they'd have to bring back slews of people. So he can't.
Well, maybe just give people due process and go by what our own Constitution says, which says any person, not citizen. You guys always talk about the Constitution. Why don't you talk about the Constitution and with upholding the Constitution when Donald Trump rips it up? Why all of a sudden are you guys not constitutionalists?
But they don't belong here anyway, Brian. That's the point you're missing. They don't belong here.
They don't belong here, so send them to an El Salvador prison, one of the highest maximum security prisons in the world, because they're a nonviolent criminal, but they might be undocumented. You're okay with that?
I'm just send them out of the country. I don't care where you send them.
So it could be a high maximum security prison. So a mother who's lived here for 30 or 40 years, undocumented, that pays her taxes, that has never committed a violent crime in her life, or a grandmother for that matter, by your standards, if they're undocumented, you don't care where they send them, quote. You can send them to Gaza, you can send them to an El Salvador prison, and Carmine is totally okay with that, because if they're undocumented, I don't care. Send them wherever you want to. That's your...
I don't think you got to get extreme and send them to Gaza.
That's what Donald Trump... What's the difference between the difference between sending somebody to Gaza and sending somebody to one of the highest maximum security prisons in the world in El Salvador? What's the difference?
Well, see, there you go. Maximum security. They have maximum security there. They're secure. What I'm saying to you is if somebody, a grandmother, and I feel bad for them, sure, but somebody's in this country 30, 40 years paying their taxes. They had 30, 40 years to try to do it legally, and they didn't. Sounds like it's their problem.
I can't believe you're okay with that.
Them problem.
I can't believe you're okay with that. I cannot believe you're okay with that.
In 30, 40 years, why wouldn't they try to do it the right way?
So because somebody, I'll tell you why. You want to give me, I'll give you an answer. First of all, Republicans keep making it more difficult for people to be naturalized citizens. It takes on average somewhere around 10 to 15 years. Do you know the party that's trying to make it easier, a pathway to citizenship? The left, Democrats. Republicans are not making it easier. It takes 10 to 15 years. You're making it sound like it's easy just to pick up a driver's license at the DMV. It's not.
But you can get a green card, bro. You can get a green card. You can.
So why isn't Donald Trump doing anything for those people that overstay their visas? Why is it that a man from Egypt comes into this country and then his visa's expired, by the way, under Donald Trump, but yet on the list that Donald Trump put out, he didn't put after that Boulder Tech, he didn't put Egypt on that list. Why is that? Even though they claim the reason.
I'll tell you why that is.
Why is that?
Why is that? I'll be glad to answer that question because we have a relationship with Egypt. We can vet the people there. This guy is a nut. Overstayed his visa, did something evil. There's American citizens who do things that are evil. But what I'm saying to you is we can vet the people coming from there. We can't vet the people coming from Venezuela. We can't vet the people coming from Iran. We can't vet those people. How can we allow people to come in who we cannot vet? You're in favor of that? You're in favor of bringing in people that we don't know who they are, where they're from?
So
that's crazy.
So you're all for vetting people. But yet, if somebody is undocumented in this country, you're okay with them not getting due process and being sent to an El Salvador prison. The inconsistencies with vetting is very
undocumented, but the word is illegal, as in against the law.
Okay,
against the law.
Got you. So if you're a 34 count felon, would you say that's against the law if you want to go by those standards?
Sure, I would say it's against the law. And if people vote for you, then you get to be president.
So as long as so you're totally okay with that. A 34 count felon could be the president of the United States. But if you're an undocumented immigrant, a mother that's lived here 30 or 40 years, send them to an El Salvador
people is a hell of a jury.
I just find it.
People is a hell of a jury. They decided.
I just find it convenient, though, that you want to talk about this guy Garcia. Never been proven in a court of law that he put his hands on his wife, but yet you want to believe her. But yet 25 plus women that have accused Trump of rape. you don't believe any of them. I find that very politically convenient that you have that opinion.
I don't believe them because there's a financial incentive to say Trump did something to you.
24 of those women did not make $1. So I don't know what you're talking about. There's at least 24 women that have accused Donald Trump of rape that were never paid off. The only two people that were paid off were E. Jean Carroll and Donald Trump's ex-wife.
The media.
The overwhelming majority.
The media. There's an incentive.
The overwhelming majority of those women did not make any money off of this. And you're making the case that because somebody might have been the victim of a sexual assault, if they write a book about it, that means that they couldn't have been raped. That is absurd.
I think there's a hell of an incentive. According to E. Jean Carroll's book, she's been raped by everybody she's ever met.
So you care about, that's not true, by the way. The only person that was found liable of sexually abusing her in her life is Donald Trump.
No, according to her book. According to her book, she's never had consensual sex in her life.
Okay. Does that mean she wasn't raped by Donald Trump?
Every sexual encounter she had was a rape.
So you care about incentive and people making money. That bothers you, right? What would you say about Donald Trump's crypto scandal, where him and his family are going to be making billions of dollars off this crypto scandal? What would you say about Jared Kushner?
You just got the rapid fire question.
Yeah.
Today,
What would you? Because you're talking about incentive and money. Yet you have no problem with Jared Kushner.
I am very much opposed to the crypto thing. I've spoken about it publicly.
But you still support Donald Trump.
Speaking about it publicly.
But you still support Donald Trump.
I'm absolutely against it.
You've spoken so much against it, you would vote for Donald Trump again. What about Jared Kushner receiving
I wouldn't vote for Donald Trump again because you can't have a third term.
Yeah, but if you could, you would. What about Jared Kushner, $2.1 billion from the Saudis? How about Ivanka Trump making $600 million in Chinese trademarks? Where were you if you care about money and incentive? Donald Trump selling Bibles made in China for $3 for $60, making hundreds of millions of dollars claiming he was going to fight this election fraud nonsense. If you care so much about money and incentive, then where were you the last 5 or 6 years?
I was donating to Donald Trump.
Yeah, exactly.
I was against the Bible thing, and you know I was against the Bible thing. As a Christian, I was insulted by that. But, yeah, I mean, listen, I look at the whole. I could have had incompetent Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, who's going to lower Carmine Sabia, my taxes.
Of course, because you're in the top 1%. Of course, because you're in the top 1%, but you don't seem to give an F about people that are struggling, living paycheck to paycheck, that are making $40,000 a year. Do you?
When I was a kid, I was on government assistance. I know what it's like.
Okay, then why are you okay with Donald Trump taking that government assistance away from so many people? He wants to cut food stamps. The most vulnerable people in this country. Carmine is okay because
Donald Trump specifically said he didn't want to cut those.
Oh, yeah. Well, listen, if he says that, I certainly believe him. Just like they're not going to take Medicaid away, and we know that was a lie, too. Just like Project 2025. I don't know anything about it. He's pretty much implemented everything in Project 2025. So I'm going to believe.
You don't vote for people. You don't vote for people that are in your best interest. I vote for people that are in my best interest.
I vote for people that are decent people that care about this country, not only themselves and the top 1% like you. I care about everybody in this country, especially the most vulnerable people, the people that are suffering and struggling. I don't vote for people that give elitists the biggest tax breaks in American history.
When I started voting, I was piss poor, and I still voted Republican because I had a dream that I could someday achieve what I've achieved. And I'd like to achieve more. And that's only possible because I wasn't kept in slavery by the Democrat Party.
Okay, first of all, you're not enslaved by I don't even know what that means. That's not true. That's like right-wing jargon.
You take government assistance.
You were on government assistance. How could you be okay with Donald Trump in this bill taking that away from millions of people?
On government assistance until the very day we didn't have to be on government assistance anymore, and we got the hell off.
So you're making the case
I know people that are lifers.
There you go again. You're making the case that everybody that's on government assistance is lazy and doesn't want a job. That's ridiculous.
Not everybody.
So why is it okay to take it away from millions of Americans? Then at one point in your life, Carmine, you needed it, and I support that. I support the fact that
you've got to show me who it's getting taken away from, Brian. That's important.
There are over 10 million Americans that are going to lose their Medicaid coverage. Doesn't that bother you at all?
Of course it bothers you, but based on what criteria? I want to know. Based on what criteria they're losing.
If you're on Medicaid, you have to set a standard of financial records of the money that you're making or lack thereof. You know that. Any American can't just walk up to the government and say, hey, I want to be on Medicaid for free. There's a process you have to go through. These are millions of people in this country that are suffering and struggling. Carmine, you know that. Same thing with the people that are on food stamps, and Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans want to take it away. At one point in your life, you needed it. I support that. Why are you okay with taking that away from so many Americans in this country, Carmine?
I'm okay with taking it away from people who meet certain criteria. If they don't need it,
there already is a criteria, Carmine. There's a certain, I don't know the exact figure, but I think it's somewhere around under 17 or 18 grand a year, and I could be wrong on that. There are already criteria that is put in place for food stamps, for welfare. The government has already put, I don't know why you keep saying criteria. You're making it sound like anybody could be on Medicaid. You know that's not true, Carmine. These are people that are suffering and that are struggling, that rely on Medicaid to live. Why are you okay with that?
I got to take a look at who would be losing it, my man.
Well, they're making the case, MAGA Republicans are, that 10 million people that are not on Medicaid are going to be on employer-provided health care. The stupidity of that excuse, because 48% of private businesses don't even provide health care. So MAGA Republicans are lying. Donald Trump is lying. Caroline Leavitt is lying. Half of these businesses don't even provide health care to their employees. Do you understand what that is going to do to people?
I guess I have to look at it.
All right.
You're telling me things.
All right.
I haven't seen it.
Fair enough. Here's what I would ask, okay? It's a good debate. Here's what I would ask so we could have a better one. I would love for you to come back. I would love to have a conversation about this with you. I would love to give you the opportunity to look it up because I think this is really important. I did some research on this.
Yeah.
And it's always a good spirited debate, Carmine, when you come on. We always get into it. I always enjoy it.
I love it.
And I hope you'll come back on, and I want you to take a look at this, and maybe we can get a better discussion about it. How's that sound?
Sounds great, my man. Sounds great.
All right.
I'd be happy to do it. And I do want to look at it. Send me any links you have.
I will.
Because honestly,
I will.
If people who really need it are going to be without it, then I would be against that. I would speak out against it.
All right. Fair enough. I'll give you the opportunity to do that. I'll get your email. I will send you the literature that I have on this bill, and then we'll go from there. Sound good?
Sounds great. Thank you, my friend.
All right, Carmine. I appreciate the time. All right, we'll lower our blood pressure now. All right, thanks, Carmine. I appreciate it. Carmine Sabia, everybody. Always a good conversation with him. All right, here's what we're going to do. Speaking of all this stuff, Donald Trump held a off-the-wall crazy press conference earlier today. We are going to play the audio from that when we return, and we have a special guest joining us in studio to discuss. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back in 90 seconds. It's Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
Hey, everybody. Are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premium Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
You are way too smart, way too talented, way too good to be where you are. You are meant to be making way more money, feel way hotter in your body, and having way more fun. Hi, I'm Nicole Mitchell, and I'm a life coach. I help you get hotter and richer. If that is what you're looking for, you can find me at NicoleMitchell.com. My name, Nicole, is with a K, NICOLE, You can reach out to me on my website or on Instagram, and I will be happy to be in touch and figure out what you're looking for and how I can support you in getting there.
Have you ever dreamed of having your own radio show or a podcast, but just didn't think it was possible? Well, dreams can come true. Radio U. Radio U is a 5-day course that'll teach you how to acquire your dream show. We'll teach you how to host, how to write commercial, how to interview, how to market, how to write a contract, and most importantly, how to monetize your dream radio show. You'll learn from some of the best in the business with over 75 years in broadcast experience. You'll learn from people like me. And the best part, every single student will be live on the radio as part of the class. Plus, one student from each class will get their very own radio show. You'll be live on the air right here in Las Vegas. Radio U. The 5-day course is being offered at $699. For more information, give Radio U a call. 702-763-5024. That's 702-763-5024. Or check them out at RadioYOU101.com.
Who would have thought there'd be so many kids playing ice hockey in the desert? Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, founded by Gina Yusufzai 8 years ago, made it possible for families who can't afford the equipment and fees. Donate today at www.hockeyforkids.org and help us continue making a difference. Join us in supporting Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, where every kid gets a shot at the starting line. Just a reminder, our website is www.hockeyforkids.org.
All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits on a very busy Newsday Thursday. We have some big breaking news to share with you. But before we get to the breaking news, what a busy day. Joining us in studio, he is a former 11-year NBA veteran and very politically savvy, to kind of mix it up with me. He hasn't been in studio in a long time. The former Milwaukee Buck himself, Paul McKeskey, joining us in studio. Paul, you came on a very busy news day today. How's it going?
It sounded like I could hear your voice when I was parking the car in the parking lot. Wow.
Well, here's the breaking news, everybody, that I suspected all along, and Elon Musk is now accusing Donald Trump of being in the Epstein files. Musk has made the bombshell allegation on Twitter within the last 15 minutes or so, claiming that the reason why the Epstein files weren't released is because Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. I guess Donald Trump is now responding to this. Donald Trump says the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and millions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. And then Elon Musk comes back and says the reason why the Epstein files hasn't been released is because Donald Trump is in the Epstein files.
Well,
what do you make of this, Mo?
Is that a surprise? I mean, how many pictures have we seen with him and Epstein? I mean, and young women. I mean, come on, man. But it surprises me that his best buddy, Elon Musk, is coming out like that. And, you know, you said 6 months. Most people said 6 months, but we knew it was going to come to a head, and it has big time.
So I'm going to tell you something. I had Jeffrey Epstein's brother on the show last week. I'm going to text him and try to get his response to this in real time. His name is Mark Epstein, and he did the show last week. Now, this is one of two things. Either this is true, and Elon Musk has some information, which he very well might, and I suspected all along that the reason why the Epstein files were not released, and Pam Bondi said she was going to release them, and the reason why they didn't is because Donald Trump is all over it. We also know that Jeffrey Epstein said on the record, on tape, that Donald Trump is his best friend. We know that Donald Trump was on the Epstein flight log at least 7 times through the Maxwell trial. So this is, I wonder if Trump's going to respond to this, but this is a big deal.
And you know, when he first brought in Elon Musk, he gave him keys to the city. He gave him ability to look into all places, you know, to see where he could save money. But maybe good old Elon looked other places to find some evidence of this.
Yeah, it's so this is breaking news. As I just said, the breaking news is now Elon Musk just tweeted out on social media claiming that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files, which is kind of wild. So we will continue to monitor this story. But before we continue to talk about this, because this is a huge story, Donald Trump did hold a press conference this morning. And as you know, Mo, there was this horrible man from Egypt, horrible situation where he lit some innocent people on fire, and it was blowtorched them, and it was a hate crime against the Jewish people in Colorado. So Donald Trump announces this travel ban, but on that list is not Egypt. And they were claiming that this was what sparked him to do this. Why didn't you put the list? Why didn't you put Egypt on the list? Here's what the reporter asked him, and here's his pathetic response.
On your new travel ban, why now? And if the Boulder attack was part of your reasoning, why not include Egypt on that list where the suspect is from?
Well, because Egypt has been a country that we deal with very closely. They have things under control. The countries that we have don't have things under control. And why now? I can say that it can't come soon enough, frankly. We want to keep bad people out of our country. The Biden administration allowed some horrendous people, and we're getting them out. one by one, and we're not stopping until we get them out. We have thousands of murderers. I even hate to say this in front of the chancellor. Of course, you have a little problem too with some of the people that were allowed into your country. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It shouldn't have happened. I told her it shouldn't have happened what she did, but you have your own difficulty with that, and we do, and we're moving them out, and we're moving them out very strongly. But it can't come fast enough. We want to get them out. We want to get them out now. We don't want to have other bad people coming into our country. By using the word bad, I'm being nice. Okay, question?
Okay, so let me get this clear. A guy came from Egypt, overstayed his visa, committed a hate crimes. The Trump administration is saying this played a role in why he did this travel ban, yet Egypt is not on the list, and he says they have things under control. Make me understand this.
Oh, well, I can't do that. But, yeah, it's amazing that he is exactly the people that they're talking about getting out illegally because they don't give them a trial or anything. They just kidnap them and take them out. But this is the exact person that they should be targeting. And, you know, like anything, they sidestep it and whatever. And it's anything to help the Trump family or his whole group is off limits. You can do it. And here's the thing that really stuck out to me as a semi-normal person, right? That he said, you know, they all have bad people and the bad people. So there are no bad Americans? We have all good people that are true Americans here? Come on, man.
Yeah, and it gets even worse because, as you know, Donald Trump, it appears as though he's given Putin the green light, not that Putin needs it, to attack Ukraine again after these airfield strikes. And Donald Trump basically says that he's going to sanction Ukraine, both countries, for getting invaded. That's really what's going on here. Have a listen to this.
You've had enough. Go ahead.
Mr. President, so would you consider to put more sanctions on Russia? Because this discussion is going on now for weeks and months, and you tweeted about it once, but then nothing happens. So
yeah, when I see the moment when we're not going to make a deal, when this thing won't stop,
is there a deadline?
at that moment, yeah, it's in my brain, the deadline. When I see the moment where it's not going to stop, and I'm sure you're going to do the same thing, will be very, very, very tough. And it could be on both countries, to be honest. You know, it takes two to tango. But we're going to be very tough. Whether it's Russia or anybody else, we're going to be very tough.
Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it, Mo? The U.S. Sanctioning Ukraine for getting invaded. That makes total sense to me.
Well, the way he treated Zelensky when he was here, it's appalling, and what he did and embarrassed our country. But that's nothing new to him. But here's the thing that really stood out when, you know, Ukraine did a kind of a attack and got some airplanes or whatever because they're in a war. They're in a war with the country that's invading them. And then Trump comes out and says, well, I talked to Putin the other day and, you know, he's going to have to respond. No, that's not what leaders say. They say, hey, Putin, don't do anything. Let's de-escalate this and see if we can figure it out. That's what a real leader would do. Not, well, he's got to retaliate. Of course. It's crazy to me.
And, of course, we're covering the breaking news where Elon Musk is saying the reason why the Epstein files weren't released is because Donald Trump is all over the Epstein files. And I don't know if that's true or not, but I certainly suspected that could be true. So we're covering that breaking news. But Donald Trump is now claiming the reason why Elon Musk is opposing this big, beautiful bill, he says it's motivated by Tesla revenue. That might be true. It might not be true. But here's what Trump had to say about that.
All of the things that we're doing, nobody's ever seen anything like it. And, you know, Elon's upset because we took the EV mandate and, you know, which was a lot of money for electric vehicles. And, you know, they're having a hard time, the electric vehicles. And they want us to pay billions of dollars in subsidy. And, you know, Elon knew this from the beginning. He knew it for a long time ago. That's been in there. That's been, I would say, JD, that hasn't changed. That's been right from the beginning, Mr. Secretary. That hasn't changed at all, right from the beginning. But I know that disturbed him. He wanted, and rightfully, you know, he recommended somebody from that he, I guess, knew very well. I'm sure he respected him, but to run NASA. And I didn't think it was appropriate. And he happened to be a Democrat, like totally Democrat. And I say, you know, look, we won. We get certain privileges. And one of the privileges, we don't have to appoint a Democrat. NASA is very important. We have great people. General Kane is going to be picking somebody with our. We'll be checking him out, and seeing. But he wanted that person, a certain person, and we said no. And I can understand why he's upset.
So he's probably going to pick a Fox News person to run NASA is the next thing. And what else is hilarious is he always does this, right? Right, JD? That's what we said, right, JD? That's like when during the pandemic, he looked at the people, the doctors over there, right, you could drink this elixir and it'll fix you, right? Right?
Absolutely insane. Now, listen, I didn't think that Elon Musk would last 6 months, but I didn't think he'd be accusing Donald Trump being a part of the Epstein files.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was going to happen.
Maybe that leaked, and that's how he got that black eye for real. The security got him before he got
Listen,
on the camera.
I don't buy the idea that Elon Musk told his kid to punch him in the face. That's not true. It was somebody within the Trump administration. We know that took place. And again, this press conference happened earlier today before Elon Musk decided to go on a tear. And we're also learning that Elon Musk just unfollowed Stephen Miller. He's also unfollowing others within the White House on X. This is going to get dirty, and it's going to get worse by the second.
You know what this is, Brian? This is two children fighting. So I have two sons. They're older now, right? You've met them. But when they were little kids, like 12 or 13, they would fight and call each other names, and then it would get physical. And they're like two little children fighting now on the social media. So
I'm glad you brought that up, though, because there was a part in this press conference where Donald Trump was talking about Ukraine, and he was talking about the war, and he compared it to a hockey fight. There are innocent women and children that are being murdered, and Donald Trump is comparing the war in Ukraine and thousands of innocent lives lost to a hockey fight where someone gets 5 minutes in the penalty box for fighting. This is what an imbecile our president is. And going back to Elon Musk, now Trump is saying that Musk, quote, misses this place. I don't think that's how Elon Musk is feeling based on the fact that he just accused you of basically being a pedophile. But listen to this. This is Trump saying that Musk already misses this place.
Should people not take him seriously about spending now? Are you saying this is all sour grapes?
No, he worked hard and he did a good job. And I'll be honest, I think he misses the place. I think he got out there and all of a sudden he wasn't in this beautiful Oval Office, and he's got nice offices too. But there's something about this one. I was telling the chancellor, this is where it is. People come in here, even from Germany. They come in and they walk into the Oval Office, and it's just a special place. It's, World War I, it started and it ended here, and World War II, and so many other things. Everything
I think that ended on a
big
battleship.
comes right from this beautiful space. It's now much more beautiful than it was 6 months ago. A lot of good things are happening in this room. And I'll tell you, he's not the first. People leave my administration and they love us. And then at some point they miss it so badly. And some of them embrace it and some of them actually become hostile. I don't know what it is. It's sort of Trump derangement syndrome, I guess they call it. But we have it with others too. They leave and they wake up in the morning and the glamour's gone, the whole world is different, and they become hostile. I don't know what it is. Someday you'll write a book about it and you'll let us know.
So there you go. Donald Trump saying that Elon Musk has Trump derangement syndrome. I don't think Elon Musk, who has a very large ego, took that very kindly. And we're also, again, following the breaking news that Elon Musk is accusing Donald Trump of being on the Epstein file list, and that's the reason why Bondi did not release the Epstein files. This is going to get uglier by the second, I would imagine. I didn't think it would get this ugly this fast, Mo. But listen, half of Donald Trump's administration, this is where I agree with Donald Trump. They usually leave and usually they don't have very nice things to say about you. Half of his first administration didn't support him and vote for him, including his former vice president. So yes, this is something that happens a lot with Donald Trump, whether he's in office or not, where people usually don't get along with him and things don't end very well. It's going to happen for a lot of others in his administration, I'm sure. Elon Musk was just the first domino to go down, for lack of a better term. But,
so let's back up to Ukraine, right? And the comments he did about a hockey fight. Well, that's because he has no empathy. He has no idea about empathy and feeling sorry for people, no matter who they are. So he just said, oh, it's like a hockey fight, no big deal. And then for people that leave his administration or whatever, to think that, well, they still love me and they miss me, but they write nasty books about me. If if I worked here, Brian, on your show and you fired me and I still loved you, I wouldn't write a book about you. I keep it to myself.
Right. I would hope not.
And I would not have Brian
But this
syndrome.
This is unprecedented times that we are living in today. And as this breaking news just came out, I didn't see this coming. I knew that Elon and Trump would eventually collide. I didn't think it would happen this fast. But I can tell you this, there is no going back now. They're not going to just become friends again. I think this relationship is over.
Well, the bottom line is when he cut off his funding.
Can you imagine, though, Caroline Leavitt, her next White House press conference where somebody says, what do you make of Elon Musk claiming that the reason why you guys haven't released the Epstein files is because Elon says Trump is in there? Someone's going to have to ask that.
Well, he's going to say that's a bad question. You're a bad journalist. And we all know what's happening in the media in the White House. They're just eliminating people and putting people they want to ask the simple softball question. So and they'll just say, well, that's a bad question. You're just after us, and move on.
As we speak by the second, Elon Musk is unfollowing members in the Trump administration.
That's child's play, right?
Childish behavior.
Hey, I'm not friends with you anymore.
Childish behavior. But here's the thing. Elon probably does have a lot of information on Donald Trump that a lot of people don't know about. So when
I'll tell you, like, thinking back, I'm telling you, people in his administration told him, no, don't do that. Don't let him have that access. And of course, he's the smartest guy in the room. So he let him have it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
because he could be bought.
Yep.
Elon Musk also said earlier today, before I went on the air, that he was the reason why Donald Trump won. By the way, I agree with that. If Elon Musk doesn't put $400 million into Trump's campaign, I would say Kamala Harris probably would have won. I think that's a fair opinion. We won't know that for sure. So he's not only saying, I'm the reason why you won and you're very ungrateful. Now he's saying that you're a pedophile. Because let's be honest here. When you say you're in the Epstein files, that's a nice way of saying you are a pedophile and you've sodomized young girls, right?
Yeah,
am I right? Is that fair?
Absolutely. You know what else he's saying? I can do it again to somebody else.
Right.
I can push my money on the other side and make you lose.
Well, he also tweeted out, Mo, Trump has 3.5 years left as president, but I'll have the next 40 years. That's what he tweeted that out today, too.
So that's proof that it can be bought, right?
You have to believe that Donald Trump is worried right now.
Oh, absolutely.
He has to have a lot more information.
You know what you say when you're a child and you're worried?
Yeah.
You get all puffed up and you say bravado things. And that's what he does.
This is crazy. What do you say we open up the phone lines here? We will talk a little NBA finals later this
sports.
hour.
Yes.
But I do want to open up the phone lines, and I want to ask all you guys this question. Do you believe Elon Musk tweeting out today that that Donald Trump is all over the Epstein files, and that's the reason why the White House hasn't released it? I want to get your thoughts on that, because that's the breaking news. This is two heads colliding here, ladies and gentlemen, and it's getting ugly, and it's going to get uglier. Number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation is 702-221-7283. And again, that number, if you want to be a part of the show, whether you believe Elon Musk or not, I want to hear from you. This is breaking news. Elon Musk on his Truth Social account, X account, when I heard about this tweet, I didn't think it was real, but it is. We verified it. Yeah. Elon Musk decided in bold on his account with a gazillion followers, making the case that the reason why the Trump administration has not released the Epstein files, he's saying, is because Donald Trump is all over the Epstein files.
When was he in the White House? 2 days ago?
Yeah, a couple days ago, receiving an award.
How fast? He got a gold key. To what? We don't know.
He got an award a couple days ago. All right. Again, the number to call. What are your thoughts on this? Do you believe Elon Musk? What are your thoughts on this? The number to call is 702-221-7283. And again, that number, if you want to be a part of the conversation, 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's see here. Why don't we go to Frank? I believe Frank is first up on PTL, if I'm not mistaken. By the way, we're also in the YouTube Super Chat where your questions and comments will be heard. Let's go to Frank. Frank, what's going on?
How you doing, Brian?
Hey, good.
And Mo.
Hey, how's it going?
From Wisconsin, Mo. So,
all right.
But I believe Elon's telling the truth because he has nothing to lose.
I agree.
I don't like him, but I have to believe that.
I got to be honest with you. Get the popcorn out because I'm kind of enjoying this. I really am. Because
we knew it was going to happen.
I'm enjoying this because this is obviously not good for the Trump administration. It's not good for Donald Trump. It's also not good for Elon Musk. It makes them both look bad. I'm enjoying this. I mean, listen, Democrats have their issues, but this just takes things to another level.
It's craziness. This is craziness.
It's chaos. Thank you for the call, Frank. I appreciate you, my friend. Good to hear from you.
Thank you.
Thank you. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you do want to be a part of the conversation. Why don't we go to Bud? Bud is next up on PTL. Hey, Bud, what's going on?
Yeah, I just found your program again for about the 10th time. But yeah, I have to agree that he's probably all over that.
Yeah,
that report.
So I agree with you, Bud. Do you think this is going to get worse? Like, how do you think Donald Trump is going to retaliate?
As usual, he always has something to poke somebody with or threaten them, and that's his game.
So, Bud, am I wrong in saying this? When Elon Musk tweets that out, is that a nice way? I don't think there is a nice way of saying it, but is it another way of saying Donald Trump sodomized young teenage girls? That's really what he's saying here, right?
Well, that's what it looks like.
I mean, that's really what he's saying. He's basically calling Donald Trump a pedophile who rapes children. I mean, that's when you say you're all over the Epstein files, that's really what you're saying, right? And we heard all along from all these right-wingers out there that the Hollywood pedophiles and Bill Clinton, but now it turns out that the one guy who donated $300 to $400 million to the Trump campaign is the guy saying Donald Trump is the pedophile.
Hillary's pizza place.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, man. I think Trump is going to be questioned on this for weeks and for months, and he should be. Let's see those Epstein files. Let's see who's lying. If you're not
transparency, right?
Yeah.
Transparency.
I would say this. Okay. I would say this. If the White House is claiming that Elon Musk is lying, release the Epstein files. Release the Epstein files. Why have you not released them then? That's what I would say. Pretty simple, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know how the Calco.
Yeah, but here's what he's going to do, and you're right. He's going to do what he always does. He's going to do what he always does: deny, deflect, and then double down, and then flood the zone. That's what he does.
Friend of the show, who does this show every week, he's the best. Ron Filipkowski from Midas Touch put out a pretty good tweet. He said, maybe now we will get the real story on Elon's black eye.
Exactly.
Where did Elon get the black eye from? I have a feeling that might be Elon Musk's next tweet. I could be wrong on that. Again, if you're just joining us, we got Big Mo, Paul McKeskey in studio. And we're talking about Elon Musk claiming that Donald Trump is all over the Epstein files, and that's why they haven't released them. This is crazy stuff, man, on a Thursday. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Kowalski. Kowalski is next up on PTL. What's going on, Kowalski?
Hello, Brian.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is Brett. I don't know why you called me Kowalski. I must sound like him or something.
Okay,
but,
my apologies. I was just reading the string. Go ahead, Brett.
Yeah, it's okay. Whoever doubted that Trump isn't all over the Epstein situation? I mean, these guys were as thick as thieves for years. Of course he's involved. Of course he was doing whatever. I don't even want to think about what he was doing with these young girls. But no non-Trump supporter ever doubted for a second that he's involved. And then he got elected president anyway.
Can I ask you, Brett, how does Fox News cover? How does Fox News, OAN, and Newsmax and right-wing media cover this story? How do they cover this story?
They won't.
They have to.
Fake news.
They have to, but they're going to glaze over it, and it's going to be like an afterthought, and it's just going to be called lying. That's all. They're just going to say he's lying, he's bitter, and it does sound like that. It's completely childish.
They all love, I think you're right, they all love Elon Musk until the last 24 to 48 hours. Now all of a sudden, Elon's the worst, and they'll call him left whack job.
He was the savior for the government. He was going to save us all this money, and now look.
Trump just gave him an award in the Oval Office 2 days ago.
A gold key to nowhere.
The guy who just was given a gold key in the Oval Office is claiming that the president of the United States is a pedophile. I mean, it's unbelievable.
I've got a question. Tell me one of these guys that has hitched themselves to Trump's wagon, has ended up on the good side of things, that ended up better than they were when they started. Tell me one of them. If your last name's not Trump, however,
Yeah, that's a good point. I appreciate your call, Brett. Thank you very much.
He's so right with that. They're either in jail or they're out in nowhere land and they're broke.
Whoever lands the next Elon Musk interview is going to be very famous. 702-221-7283. Let's go to RJ. RJ is next up on PTL. What's up, RJ?
Hey, guys. How you doing? I want to say hello to your guests also, Brian.
Hey.
I want to go back to Carmine. Now, that guy is a Zach. and the rear end of a donkey. You put it together. But here, man, you took him down beautifully, man. You did. But here's what really got me when he made the statement about he grew up in the ghetto.
Yeah.
And I thought that was
He
him
did
trying
say
to
that.
insinuate something. So
He did say
So
that.
I kind of looked him up on Facebook, found his profile. Now, these are his own words. I was born and raised around Puerto Rican people. I have moved more Puerto Rican friends than I can count. Every one of them that's a friend of mine is voting for Donald Trump. So he grew up around Puerto Ricans, but he said he grew up in the ghetto. So I guess all these ghetto Puerto Ricans, I guess, are Trump supporters.
Yeah, it is interesting to me that there are still people out there that wear the blinders, and when they get help from the government, like Carmine, who admitted that he has been on food stamps and government assistance, it's okay for him when he needs it, but for everybody else, just make the assumption that they're all lazy and they don't want to work. I find that very interesting.
And he also uses wrong factual. The top 1% here in America make between $800 and $2 million a year. That's the truth. And I looked up tax rates, federal tax rates in the United States. For under 12,000, it's 10%. For under 40,000, it's 12. 100,000, it's 22, and it goes on and on. 250 to 600, it's 35%. Over 600,000, it's 37%. But the point is, what Trump does is put loopholes in that, so they don't actually have to pay the 37%.
Right.
He bragged that he paid nothing.
Exactly. Again, thank you for the call, sir. Again, covering the breaking news, which I didn't know we'd be talking about when Mo got here. But Elon Musk is put out on Twitter that the reason why the Epstein files have not been released is because Donald Trump is all over the Epstein files, which, by the way, I believe him 100%. If you tweet something like that out and it wasn't true, major defamation lawsuit. So here's the way I would present it to the White House. And then we have a slew of callers. Ask the question to Caroline the vet. They will deny it and then say, okay, if that's the case, then why won't you release the files?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's it.
And she'll say, that's a terrible question. You're a terrible journalist. Next person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's probably what will happen. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Rebecca. Rebecca is next up on PTL. Hey, Rebecca.
Hi, Brian. Hi, Mo.
Hey.
What do you think it's going to take for Elon to show the receipts? Because he's got copies of that Epstein. He's got copies of everything. He had the key to the White House.
I don't know if he has copies. That I don't know.
I bet he does.
But I can tell you right now, if Donald Trump was smart, which he's not, he would just stop. He would just give Elon a call and say, okay, we'll do what you want to do. I just don't think Donald Trump's ego will allow him to do that. And I think it's only going to get worse. That's what I think is going to happen.
And I think even though Elon might not have it, he has all those computer geeks, right? That could probably dig it up.
Exactly.
Why won't you guys release
everything on all of us?
Here,
so why not that?
Again, all the fingerprints and the evidence points to the fact that Elon Musk is telling the truth. As I said before, during the Maxwell trial, Donald Trump was on the Epstein flight log at least 6 times. We also have Jeffrey Epstein literally on audio saying that Donald Trump at one time was his best friend. So I think the paper trail, certainly, I hate to side with Elon Musk on anything, but I certainly side with him on this. Donald Trump just tweeted this out.
Oh, boy.
He said, I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. This is one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress. It's a record cut in expenses. All right, so we know that. Yeah, that's what he said. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Thank you for the call. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. I cannot wait until the next White House press briefing. Let's see. Who are we going to next here? Let's go to Tina. Tina is next up on PTL. Hi, Tina.
Hi, Brian. How are you?
Hey, good. What's on your mind?
Yesterday I was thinking, when will Elon Musk seek retribution against Trump? I didn't think it was going to be this quickly. But I'll tell you something, that there was a court filing in New York years ago by a girl that grew up, but she was 13 at the time. And I hate to say this out loud, but the court filing was that Trump and Epstein raped this 13-year-old girl. But when she went to the court, and filed a complaint or the crime, she started getting death threats. So she dropped it.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me, my dear. And here's what we do know. Donald Trump is a liable sexual abuser. He's an adjudicated rapist. By the way, Elon Musk has just responded to Donald Trump's latest tweet. They're going back and forth now. This was
little kids.
This was literally 6 minutes ago. If we could go back up. So Elon Musk said, in light of the president's statement about cancellation of my government contracts, SpaceX will begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft immediately.
I mean, the ones that are blowing up in the sky?
Yeah, the ones that are blowing up everywhere. Yeah. So this is by the minute here. We're giving you. They're going back and forth right now on this. But
see, and Trump is doing what he does to everybody. He loves you, and you're going to work for him, and then he messes you around at the end, and he takes all your billions of SpaceX money and all of it away, and says, "Goodbye. Don't write a book."
And Elon Musk, if I recall, he just tweeted just a few moments ago. Well, this was earlier today as we go back up. Elon Musk said, without me, Trump would have lost the election. And Chuck Schumer did a little bit of a popcorn thing and retweeted it. Again, this is and Ron Filipowski said, I think they better hide Donald Trump's phone because this is Donald Trump can't control himself.
No, he can't.
And I'll tell you, I'll give Elon Musk credit for this. He's definitely a lot smarter than Donald Trump is. 702-221-7283, the number to call. Let's go to Wayne. Wayne is next up on PTL. What's going on, Wayne?
Hey, Brian. Hey, Big Mo.
Hey.
Hey, guys. I've got three things real quick. I don't want to take up a lot of time. First of all, when you're talking to Carmine, I do believe there should be some kind of work requirements. If you are able-bodied, you should be required to have some kind of income, a job. But however, Medicaid should be based on the income you earn.
Which it is. So,
and I do not agree with taking Medicaid away from people. And you know what I mean? There are people that just don't want to work.
If you're,
I'm sorry to say
listen, Carmine said it himself. He cares about himself. He said it himself on this show. You have to be a certain type of selfish SOB to only care about your own bottom line and your own taxes and not care about all the other Americans out there. But that's how these MAGA idiots are. At one point in their life, they needed help. It's okay if they get help. I go back to the PPP loans. Do you remember back during COVID where all these small businesses got all these loans that they didn't have to pay back during COVID? They were totally okay with that.
MTG. Yeah, she
but
got it.
But they were totally okay with that. But then when it comes to student loan debt forgiveness, no, we can't do that. But my business, I can get a loan. These son of a bitches on the far right, they're some of the worst people that America has to offer. And I am so glad that Elon Musk and Donald Trump are going back and forth. And now we're learning that not only is Donald Trump an adjudicated rapist, but he's probably also a pedophile.
And how?
Now I wanted to say about Elon Musk. Trump is rich, billionaire. He cannot bully Elon Musk. He has more money than Trump. He thinks, he could just bully Elon Musk. He can't bully him.
You're right.
Elon.
Trump's money is all leveraged. It's all in other stuff. Elon has accessible money, so you're right about that.
I'm going to tell you this right now. If Donald Trump keeps tweeting at Elon and egging him on, there's some more bad stuff that's going to be coming out here. By the way, Ashley St. Clair, if you don't know who Ashley St. Clair is, she's the woman who had a child with Elon Musk, and then Elon paid her to shut her up and, is not in her life and all that stuff. So Ashley St. Clair just tweeted out, hey, real Donald Trump, let me know if you need any breakup advice. This is getting entertaining here. I cannot wait to watch the news tonight and see how right-wing media covers this. 702-221-7283.
And here's back on that caller who was right with the Carmen guy or whatever he was. He's more acceptable of taking stuff away that so people can barely live, with Medicaid and food stamps, and not bother people that are making millions and millions of dollars and take away maybe their lattes for a month. It's crazy.
Now Donald Trump is claiming on social media that he fired Elon Musk. I'm sure that'll make Elon very happy. Yes, that's right. Trump is now tweeting out that he fired Elon.
So do you get a gold key when you get fired? Is that
I don't
what
know.
usually happens?
Yeah. So he gives him the award. So he literally just tweeted out, Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted. So he's basically saying he fired Elon Musk now.
Electric cars that he was selling on the White House lawn a few months ago.
I think we're going to find out how we got that bruised eye. 702-221-7283, the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Oh, my. All right, let's go to Dave. Dave is next up on PTL. What's going on, Dave?
Hey, Brian. I talked to you yesterday. I said something about Elon going towards the Democrats, but I'm just telling you right now, hearing all this and getting the popcorn out, there's a movie back in the 80s, you and I aren't that far apart, called Trading Places. Dan Aykroyd.
Great movie.
Great movie. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you drive a rich person crazy? You make them poor. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be Elon Musk's plan. He's going to start trying to buy the Democrat side. He's going to bankrupt Trump. Mark my words.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of what Elon Musk does is the way Donald Trump responds. And so far, Donald Trump is not being very strategic in this. In the last hour or so, he's claimed that he's fired Elon Musk, and he's trying to make Elon Musk look bad. But in theory, or in turn, it's making Donald Trump look bad because Musk just keeps going and going and going.
He's making him look stupid because everybody knows he didn't do that. We saw it.
Why won't they release the Epstein files? I said this a month ago. Remember when they had all those right-wing idiots with those binders in front of the White House? I think it was in front of some Capitol building. And then they didn't release anything. And then when Donald Trump was asked about this, are you going to release the John F. Kennedy files? Are you going to? Yeah, he was all for it. And then all of a sudden, when they asked him about the Epstein files, he stuttered. Why is that? Geez, I wonder.
And I'm going to tell you one thing. Any other skeletons in Trump's closet for the last 4 months is going to be coming out that I guarantee you that Elon knows about.
I tend to agree with you on that. I think that's a very good point. Let's not just talk about the Epstein files. I think Elon's going to be releasing some other stuff too. Very stupid strategic move by Trump to be going at Elon like this.
And this is why in normal world before Trump, politics was a game and people got over on people, but no one ever would think of saying, hey, let's let this guy run for president. He's probably a pedophile. He's ripped off people. He has court dates everywhere. He's a felon. Oh, let's make him president. But now this situation is crazy.
Mo, this is the danger of doing business or whatever Donald Trump was doing with Elon, with the richest man in the world. This is the dangers of being bought. This is why Donald Trump is so dangerous to this country and to the world, because he can be bought.
Hey, can I mention, and I'm going to get on sports for a second. That's exactly why back in the day when I was coaching in college basketball, there was no NIL money, so players were getting money under the table. And I always warned coaches, if you start paying players under the table, they have something on you that can get you fired, and you're going to be in trouble.
I agree. So this is very interesting because Ian Miles Chong is one of the most popular right-wing Twitter accounts around. He says, President versus Elon, who wins? My money's on Elon. Trump should be impeached, and J.D. Vance should replace him.
No.
Elon Musk retweets it and says yes. So now Elon Musk is in favor of impeaching Donald Trump. So it's gone. Okay, let's just hold on a second here. Let's just rewind here for a second. 2 days ago, Donald Trump was giving Elon an award.
A gold key.
2 days later, Elon Musk is saying that Donald Trump is all over the Epstein files and that he should be impeached. Boy, how 24 to 48 hours changes things. Holy smokes. So now Elon is endorsing impeaching Donald Trump.
The lifetime of kids is very short. You know, what we think is a month, they think is an hour. So that's why they're doing it so fast.
So first he's a part of the Epstein files, and now Elon Musk is endorsing the fact that Trump should be impeached. I mean, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and Democrat leadership have to be loving this right now. But here's the sad part. We can't lose focus here. This is bad for the American people. If this bill passes, it's terrible for the American people. Let's not forget that. The world is laughing at us right now. The world is watching this, and they are laughing at us. It's because you guys voted in. When I say you guys, I'm talking about the idiots who voted for Trump. You guys voted in an orange orangutan, convicted 34-count felon, adjudicated rapist. This is what you get. 702-221-7283. Let's go back.
Are you talking about the big, beautiful BS bully bill?
Or as JoJo from Jers called it, the big boner bill. Let's go to Mark. Mark is next on PTL. Hey, Mark, what's going on?
Hey, Brian. Good afternoon. Like to comment on that moron combine.
Yeah. Yep, go ahead.
Carmine, you do realize, Carmine, that if you don't realize it, you can Google this, that Trump used Epstein's plane during the campaign because his plane was out of commission.
That's true.
Isn't that just a coincidence, Carmine?
Yeah, you're right about that.
Now you've been yelling that the Republicans, that the Democrats everyone's going to be killed. We're going to be killed. What about the Republicans who have been yelling for decades about the Dems taking your guns? We've been hearing that BS for decades, and it never happened.
Yeah.
But you're a pure racist, and you do not understand the Constitution. You stated that you thought our forefathers meant didn't mean person; they meant citizen. That's what you stated. But how about the right to bear arms when it was written when people had muskets? Did they really actually mean when people were able to fire hundreds of rounds of shots in seconds? Did they really mean that? Come on, you're just a far right wing TFS, Trump fallacia syndrome.
I say it all the time, Mark, and I appreciate your comments, and I certainly agree with you on that one. 702-221-7283. Let's get back to the phone calls. Demetrius is next up on PTL. Hey, Demetrius, what's going on?
Hey, how y'all doing this afternoon, gentlemen?
Good.
Yeah, I'm just calling in to reiterate, to keep doing what you're doing. It's people love hearing somebody attacking somebody like Carmine. They ain't never seen nothing like this before. Trust me. When by the end of the year, you over 500,000 subscribers. Next year, you'll be over 2 million subscribers. You'll see why. This is the pushback that we need. That's all I'm calling to say. Keep up the good work, Brian.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, my friend. We are certainly going to do that on a very, very busy Thursday. Every time Big Mo comes in studio, it seems like some crazy big story breaks. And if you're just joining us, you've missed a lot. Elon Musk is taken to social media and is claiming that Donald Trump is all over the Epstein files, and that's why it wasn't released. Elon Musk is calling for the impeachment of Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not holding back, and he's attacking Elon Musk, claiming that he fired Elon Musk. I can tell you right now, Elon is going to win this war of words. Okay, Donald Trump is not going to win this. Eventually, Donald Trump is going to have to cave if he knows what's best for him, but I'm not sure he can.
Well, you know who doesn't know that or understand that? Donald Trump. Because he doesn't know reality. He lives in his own reality where he can do whatever he wants. He never gets punished. But I think he's met his match right now because Elon has more money, has more access to social media. And what do they all say? Get your popcorn out? Wow.
Many people are saying.
Many
people are saying that Elon holds all the cards. Yes. Many people are saying.
People tell me.
Elon Musk, what did he do? He just tweeted something else out. Time to drop. Yeah. Okay. We already know that one. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the program. By the way, while all this is going on, I'm getting into a Twitter spat with the leader of the Proud Boys, Enrique Tarrio. We'll get to that probably tomorrow. I don't think we have time to talk about that right now. There's more important things to get to. 702-221-7283, the number to call. Who are we going to next? Let's go to Shelly. Shelly next up on PTL. Hello, Shelly.
Hey, Brian. This Elon Trump fight that's happening right before, as you speak, the Democrats don't need to let this go by. They need to just poke the bear, keep it going, and just obliterate Trump.
I don't know.
I don't care how they do it.
I'm going to ask this question again.
Okay, but
how does right-wing media cover this story?
They are going to brainwash it or not cover it at all.
They have to cover it, and I guarantee you they will, but I understand why you would say that. They're going to cover it, but what are they going to...
They're not going to cover it.
What is somebody like Sean Hannity going to say? I mean, they've been kissing Elon Musk's ass for the last 8 months. Exactly. What are they going to say? You know?
I have no clue. They'll think of something.
Yeah.
Well, the Democrats should do what. The Democrats should do whatever they can to get Elon Musk on CNN ASAP.
I agree. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Eileen. Eileen is next up on PTL. What's up, Eileen?
Hi, Brian.
Hey.
Hi, Mel.
Hey.
I love the smell of popcorn.
Extra butter.
No, seriously. Isn't Elon also? I mean, not that I don't hate this, but isn't Elon also like all over the files?
I haven't heard that. I don't think Elon was friendly with him. I haven't heard that. So I don't know. I
think
There's a lot of pictures.
Well, here's what we know.
Over social media of him and Ghislaine Maxwell together.
Yeah, but the evidence points to Donald Trump. He was on the flight log. He was very good friends with Jeff Epstein. So I can't imagine that Elon would just lie about something like this.
He's got to have receipts.
He has to have some evidence behind it.
And I think he's too young to be in that whole circle when it was going full blown, even before Trump was president. So he might not have got caught up in that.
Yeah. Fox News headline, by the way. I didn't see this on my bingo card today. What happened to that headline? We lost the headline, but that's okay. We'll get back to it. Fox News headline that I just read along the lines of Elon Musk claims that he's the reason why Donald Trump won the 2024 election. That's a headline on Fox News. All right, let's get back to the call. 702-221-7283, the number to call. Let's go to Pat. Pat is next up on PTL. What's going on, Pat?
Oh, the sun is shining. I am enjoying every bit of this. Oh, this gives me so much hope. This gives me, you know what I believe? Elon has receipts for everything. If he was able to get our Social Security numbers and all that, I think Elon has all the receipts.
By the way, I'm texting Mark Epstein as we speak right now. I'm texting Jeffrey Epstein's brother right now to see if I can get a reaction from him. And if I get a text back, I will share it with all of you.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
This is so good. This is so good. Elon is going to blow Trump out of that White House.
Yeah, and I think he did have his little minions working on getting that info.
Yes,
while he
and
was doing
they computer text. They got an in there. Do you think he's going to leave without the Epstein files?
He's
got his copy of everything, and I believe that Elon he fixed the election for. I've been saying it, and I've been saying it. Elon is going to tell it. He already said that if it wasn't for him, Trump wouldn't have won. It's not just about the money. Elon cracked the system. I believe it.
Well, I'm texting Mark Epstein right now, and I'm seeing if he'll join us on the show here for a couple minutes to give us his reaction.
That will be awesome.
That's all I can do. I'll text him, my dear, and I appreciate your phone call.
Let me say something about Carmine.
Sure.
Carmine, yeah, the food stamps were good when you were getting them, but now you want to check everybody else. Everybody on food stamps does not want to be on food stamps, but who is he to set the limits or whatever?
Yeah.
Now that he's a big shot, now it's bad for everybody.
That's true.
That's stupid.
No, I agree. I appreciate the call,
A lot
my
of
dear.
people come off of food stamps and get their degrees and everything. They don't enjoy being on food stamps. I've never been on them, but if I had, I wouldn't feel bad about it.
Well, I agree. I agree with you. I wouldn't either, and I appreciate your call. Thank you so much. So we're going to try to give Mr. Mark Epstein a call right now. I'm sure he hasn't made any public comments on this yet.
I'm sure everybody's after him too.
We're going to try to call him. So ask him if he's willing to come on for just a few minutes and just give us his reaction. If he doesn't want to, that's totally okay. I'm sure he's getting bombarded.
Oh, you bet.
I'm sure he's getting bombarded with phone calls. But this is a very big what would be the word, development, I guess you could say. And we certainly want to get his reaction to this. This is kind of wild here. If you're just joining us, we are learning from Elon Musk that he believes that the reason why the Epstein files have not been released.
This is the opposite. Trump is the pro at flooding the zone. Let's flood the zone with, hey, Canada, 51st state. Hey, let's buy Gaza and put hotels there. But now the zone is getting flooded by stuff that Trump doesn't want to be looking at. And please don't call him Taco.
Don't call him Taco. We're gonna try to get him one more time here. Try one more time, and if we can't get Mark Epstein on the line, then so be it. But we're gonna try to get his reaction to this. So it's not just the Epstein file stuff that Elon Musk has tweeted out. It's also the fact that he is endorsing Donald Trump being impeached and putting J.D. Vance in place. By the way, I don't like J.D. Vance any more than I like Donald Trump. But this story is not going to go away.
No.
And they're not going to make up anytime soon.
No. This is the deal breaker. They left handshakes right in the White House. Hey, if I could give you an advice, that'll be great. Oh, that'll be great. But now this is done, and it looks like all out war going on.
Yeah, this is going to get ugly, Bo. This isn't going to get any better. All right, so we'll try to get in touch with Mark Epstein, and if we can't, hopefully we can maybe get a comment from him tomorrow. Let's get back to the phone calls. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Why don't we go to Keith? Keith is next up on PTL. What's up, Keith?
Hey, guys. That Carmine, what a dipshit. He's not a Christian.
You're so right.
I'm more Christian than he is, and I don't consider myself Christian. But I bet you I could outquote the Bible to him. But I want to say something as far as the Medicaid, what he was talking about with Medicaid. There's no illegal immigrants on Medicaid. And I'm so tired of the mega dopes talking about illegal immigrants like they committed some kind of heinous crime just by crossing the border. They didn't. When you cross the border illegally, it's a civil misdemeanor. It's not a felony. It's not a criminal charge. It's a civil charge. But they make it out like they're some kind of really bad person just because they crossed the border illegally, and they're not. It's just a civil misdemeanor.
So what you just said is correct. If you're undocumented, you're not allowed to go on Medicaid. However, if you do need help, if you go into a hospital, they will help you, which, by the way, I'm okay with. But you're right. You can't officially be on Medicaid through the government if you don't have a Social Security number and you're undocumented.
You know what else is true? There's a lot of undocumented that pay millions of dollars into Social Security and the government. That's never said.
Thank you for the call, sir.
Right.
Thank you for the call, sir. Representative Eric Swalwell just tweeted out, release the Epstein files now.
Release them. It looks like that might be a T-shirt to be on your show.
Release the Yeah. Why won't we hear from MAGA Republicans to release the Epstein files? Where are you guys? I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just curious. 702-221-7283, the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Ron Filipowski says, I would say that Trump is winning the social media battle with Trump today, but he lost a ton of money in the stock market while doing so. That's funny. I think he meant to say Elon is winning instead of Trump. I think. Richie P on the YouTube super chat. Stock tip of the day by Rocket Lab. Also, will the employees running out of SpaceX be accounted for on the jobs report? Very funny, Richie. Thank you for your support. We appreciate you. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Susan. Susan is next up on PTL. What's up, Susan?
Hi.
Hi, Susan. Go right ahead.
I recently just started watching your show. I didn't know it existed, but I don't understand.
Lower your radio. If you can lower your radio for us, that would be great because we're on a little bit of a delay. Thank you, Susan. Okay, go right ahead, Susan.
I don't understand how all of these people who were giving all this information all of this time act so shocked.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're surprised by it. And they voted for him anyway.
Yeah.
And the things that he's doing
Yep.
are just so obvious that I'm sure I have no doubt, I'm 73. There's been a lot of crooked stuff going on in politics for a long time.
It's one thing, though, but it's one thing to be crooked in politics. It's another thing to be a sodomizer of kids, which basically Elon Musk is accusing Donald Trump of. And I'm going to take the side of Elon Musk on this one.
Yeah, and also the sayings, right? So you hit it right. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. And he's done it over and over again.
And I'm not sure why these people didn't want to believe it. Were they so blindsided by what he was saying that they actually believed it? And you know, if you hang with snakes, you are a snake. I mean, you are who you hang with. And I'm hoping that Elon Musk is definitely, I think he is, telling the truth.
Yep.
And Donnie bit off more than he could chew.
I think every Democrat, every anti-Trumper needs to say every day, release the Epstein files, release the Epstein files. Every press conference, Donald Trump should be asked about it. Every press conference, Caroline the vet should be asked about it. Release the Epstein files, please. Release the Epstein files. That's what I say. Yeah. Thank you for the call, my dear. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Let's see here. Who are we going to next? Phone lines are full. Let's go to Mike. Mike is next up on PTL. Hey, Mike, thanks for calling in. What's on your mind?
Hi, Brian. How are you?
Hey, good.
This is the second time I called. First time you were with Kamala Harris in Vegas, and you had somebody substituting for you. So it's the first time to talk to you, and I appreciate it. I love the show.
Thank you.
Look, what I want to just say is this: anybody who has ever dealt with Donald Trump, whether he was president or real estate developer, has gotten burned. Okay. So I have a good friend of mine, unfortunately, with Parkinson's. We have been more on the left than the right for 40 years as a friendship. And we knew it was just a matter of time for the marriage to end up. You're seeing it now. And the only thing I want to say is I'm not surprised by this at all, but everybody's now saying that Musk has got the upper hand. Remember, we don't know who killed Epstein, but Epstein had dirt on Trump. Musk has dirt on Trump. I would be careful because he's got the power of the White House, and there's a lot of power there. No matter how much.
And I have some breaking news for you. This is very telling. Donald Trump just held a meeting with some dignitaries. If you can go back down there real quickly, a White House state dinner roundup. He did not take any questions. This is 5 minutes ago. He always takes questions.
He loves questions.
He did not take any questions from the media. I find that very, very interesting. Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, as much as like what Musk could deliver here, if I was Musk, I'd be very careful. You just don't know what could be done with the powers of being in the White House.
Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, so I hear what you're saying, but he's got a lot of power as well, and a lot of security. 702-221-7283.
I would jack up that security right now.
Yeah,
for sure.
Milo, who's done this show before, Milo is a right-wing journalist, said there will be serious lifelong consequences, revenge for what Trump is doing to the institutions of the left. The president isn't giving them a thought. He's charging ahead, torching his life after office. He isn't totting up favors. People notice that and admire it. You know what?
You know why, though?
Yeah.
It's because his family is making billions and billions of dollars in
sure.
China and Russia.
Absolutely.
That's why, and they're socking that away. So whenever he leaves, if he leaves, then he'll have that money to go back on.
It's amazing, though, that some of these far-right Twitter accounts are turning on Donald Trump a little bit, and it seems like they're siding with Elon Musk. I do find that. But now, listen, there's a lot of them that won't, but there are some that are. All right, let's get back to the phone calls. Let's see who we going to next year. Paris is next up on PTL. Hey, Paris, what's going on?
Hello, guys. I listen to you guys. I love you guys when I get you.
Thank
you. You guys are truly amazing. Thank you for keeping us going.
Sure.
Am I his best guest ever? I'm his best guest ever.
You both are truly amazing. Anybody that goes on the show is truly amazing. I'm in New York.
Well, Carmine wasn't amazing, but that's another story. Go right ahead.
I'm in New York, and you know what? I'm annoyed, and I'm sorry for my French.
That's okay.
But it bothers me that these Republican and these MAGA supporters keep on lying, especially the Republican politicians. They have nothing but the audacity to lie, saying there's no tax cuts, there's no nothing. And earlier you mentioned that these illegal immigrants contribute to Social Security. Well, I'll give you guys a piece of info because I do a little bit of tax work. When a person comes in the United States, IRS allows them to get an IRS, which is an ITIN number, which is like in replacement of a Social Security card. That gives them the authority to work. And when these immigrants that are hated so badly by the American people work and pay millions and millions of dollars every year, and they get nothing in return, that is a darn shame.
And they know it too, and they still do it.
You're right,
for
Paris.
sure.
I appreciate you calling in. Never would I ever want to quote Roseanne Barr, but she's so crazy. Listen to her response to all of this. It's so ridiculous. I'm going to read it. They're splitting MAGA in half, and you are all falling for it because of Jew hate is the most important thing to you. First of all,
wow,
what does Jew hate have anything to do with this? Elon Musk doesn't like the bill for whatever reason. There's plenty of reasons why. Who cares? He doesn't like the bill.
Overspending.
Right. Trump is going at him, and then he's going back at Trump. What does that have to do with Jew hate? I don't know. That's very strange. It's very strange to me. I don't know. Anyway, 702-221-7283, the number to call. Let's see who we going to next year. Let's go to Cheryl. Cheryl is next up on PTL. Hi, Cheryl.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, good.
One thing first to get out of the way. I had concerns about Joe Walsh, and you addressed them with him when he was on, and I really thank you for that. And I can see that the person he is. I appreciate that. Second, we think this romance breakup is bad for Trump, but nothing compared to the Putin breakup that's going to happen. You know, he thinks he's got a romance with everybody.
Sorry.
And Putin's going to do the same thing. He is doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just going to happen. And I just wanted to comment. Let's see the real thing.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, my dear. Thank you so much for the phone call. We
The
appreciate
only thing about that scares me is Trump has dodged so many bullets in the past and not paid for any of it. So, you know, I'm not sure if this is going to be the one that gets him finally and makes him be held accountable.
Well, Mark Epstein did get back to me, and he said he wants to have a phone call with me off the air. So if he wants to have a phone call off the air, then I will certainly respect those wishes.
Yep.
And I will do that. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Again, 702-221-7283.
Let me ask you this. Was he close with?
He was close with his brother. Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm texting him right now, and I'm telling him I will call you after the show. I certainly want to get his reaction to this. All right. I respect those wishes. He wants to talk to me off the air. That's very fair. Let's go to Beverly. Beverly is next up on PTL. Hey, Beverly, what's going on?
Hi, Brian. How are you today?
Good.
I'm calling because I pay attention to everything. A lot of people say they don't want to look at the news, but that's why the Republicans call us woke, because we're paying attention to what they do. And when it comes out, I'm not surprised in anything.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm really frustrated with is that the Republicans talk about being Christians. If they were Christians, they would follow the book. They don't follow the book. They're following a man who cares nothing about them or the people who he's supposed to be serving.
Mm-hmm.
No one is supposed to be serving him. He's supposed to be serving and protecting the citizens of this country.
Yeah.
That includes everybody. And if no one is paying attention to this, the only people that he wants in this country are people who look like him. But that's not going to happen. And what the Republicans need to do is remove him from office.
It's interesting because
they should have done before.
It is interesting because, again, Elon Musk just tweeted out the Trump tariffs will cause a recession in the second half of this year. You know, but it's more than just the economy now. And Elon Musk is now calling for Donald Trump to be impeached. I do find that interesting. Thank you for the call, my dear.
And she's so right. They're following the person that holds the book upside down and has probably never read it before in his life.
That's true.
And when you ask him that question, he says, well, I have so many verses I like. I just can't.
I thought it
think
was
of
his
one."
favorite book, Mo.
Yeah, but I have so many people tell me I have so many verses that I love. I can't recite one.
Mo, I don't know if we're going to be able to get to the NBA Finals.
It doesn't
today.
look
It's
like
kind
it.
of a
Well,
crazy day.
You have to have me in again.
I will next week. Let's go to Peter. Peter is next up on PTL. What's up, Peter?
Hey, Brian. Hey, Mo.
Hey.
Two really quick things. One, did you see that Bannon just called for Musk to be deported?
Did he really? Wow. Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised?
Yep.
What about Trump's?
Right.
What about Trump's wife?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The second thing, if what Musk is saying about the Epstein files, which I believe is true, I guess you got to ask, then why did he help get this man elected as president?
That's a really good point, and I would ask that to Elon. If you knew that he was all over this, then why did you continue to support him?
Because he thought he'd help him make money.
Yeah, I think that. Well, he would never admit that, but
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
By the way, Tesla has lost somewhere around $150 billion in the market value today.
Oops,
that's a
my
lot
bad.
of
My
that's
bad.
a lot of money. So Elon ain't a happy camper either.
Either as the people that have stock in
No,
Tesla,
this is listen, this isn't good for anybody except for maybe Democrats. But it's not good for Democrats when it comes to the economy and policy, but it is good from a political standpoint, if that makes sense. It is good from a political standpoint. Donald, and we already know that Donald Trump has said that he's very disappointed with Elon Musk over this big, beautiful bill. That's nothing new. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Let's go to Peter. Oh, I just had Peter on. Okay, I apologize. Let's go to Mary. Mary's next up on PTL. Hey, Mary, what's up?
Hi, I have a question that people are probably not going to believe that I'm thinking this, but I think this is all a setup. I think they're setting it up to get sympathy for either Trump, Elon, or whatever. I don't believe him. I think he's a turncoat. I want the Democrats to have nothing to do with Musk. I want Trump.
Okay, so what would help me understand this? If this was a setup, what would be the reasoning for it? Because it doesn't make Elon Musk or Trump look very good. So, like, how does Trump or Musk or even the Republicans benefit from this? I can't think of one thing.
There's a lot of people, the ones that voted for him, that have no voice and no brain. They just follow what they.
Okay, so hold on. I hear you, but help me understand. What is the benefit for an Elon Musk or a Trump or the Republicans for this spat? Like, what are they getting out of this?
They're filthy rich. They're not hurting for money. It doesn't matter how much money they've lost.
I know. No,
Here, I have an idea. I'll throw this out there.
Okay.
So the thing that I just thought about in my sports mind or whatever is the one thing that may make a little sense is that Trumpers, MAGAs, can come to his defense and rally around Trump and say, Elon's attacking him like everybody else. Poor Trump. He's getting attacked again. Oh, my, let's support him more. That might be true.
Yeah, but why would he need that? He's already the president. He can't run again. I don't understand that.
For next time.
He's the president that people are getting ready to impeach.
Okay, but the reason why I'm not buying that is because there's a reason why they haven't released the Epstein files. And I believe Elon Musk. I believe it's because he's in there. I really do. I think that's why.
Two things can be true at the same time.
Perhaps. Thank you for the call.
That's also why he wants to pardon Diddy, because he's probably in there too.
Well, we'll see.
He's probably on that list.
I don't know. I actually don't think that there's any. This was a plan. I really don't. I don't think this was a plan. I think Elon is
That's
very
a
pissed.
long reach. Yeah.
I think Elon is very pissed off at this bill.
And childish.
He feels very unappreciated, I think.
Yeah.
And
you gave me a gold key.
And Donald Trump is doing what he always does with people, saying, go screw yourself. I'm only in it for me. And I think Elon is learning the hard way that he should have never got involved with Donald Trump. 702. That's what I think. 702.
Yeah, I think you're more likely right.
Yeah. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you would like to be a part of the conversation. All right, let's see who we going to do next year. Let's go to Kim. Kim is next up on PTL. What's up, Kim?
Hey, Brian.
Hey.
I've been seeing all the tweets people are putting on while you're talking and everything, and everybody thinks you ought to have Elon on and interview him.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd come. I'm sure he'd come on this show. Now he's on the last show he would do. I would love to have him on, but not going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
But I can't believe that he let himself get conned by a lifetime con man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's conned a lot of people his whole life.
Well, we knew this wasn't going to end well for Elon, and it's not going to end well for really anybody in his administration. But I will say this. I didn't think it would end like this between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. I thought they would have a spat and they would go their separate ways, but I didn't think Elon Musk would be calling for him to be impeached, and saying he's in the Epstein files.
And
this is nuts.
You know what happens a lot of times, too, is, they know he's a con man. He's conned a lot of people. I know that, but he's not going to do it to me. He can't do it to me. I'm too smart. Maybe that's the case.
Ed Krasenstein thank you for the call, my dear. Ed Krasenstein on social media, another big Twitter follow. He does this show from time to time, says now there are a lot of Republicans that are who voted for the beautiful bill that are now saying it sucks. Why did they vote for it then? Why did you vote for
Because
them?
some of them didn't read it all. That's
Yeah,
why.
Marjorie-
How would you admit that you didn't read it all? That's your job. It's so insane to
Marjorie
me.
Taylor Greene.
Well, I
ultimately
didn't read
admitted
that part, or I wouldn't have voted again. That's your job. That's why you're there, to read it.
Very
Insanity.
true. Very true. Let's go to Dale. Dale is next up on PTL. Hi, Dale.
Good afternoon, Brian, Coach.
Hey.
Here's the question of the day now. Since we have this little lover's quarrel between Muskrat and the orange baboon, since everybody's been trying to keep Musk from the congressional hearings, maybe it's time to subpoena him.
Well, I think Democrats have been trying to subpoena
Yeah.
Elon Musk for a very long time.
I think so,
This
too.
gives them more reason to do so. Elon, you tweeted out blah, 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 blah. Where did you get your information from? Can you imagine if Elon Musk is under oath? I don't think it'll happen, but boy, if it did, it would be.
He'll do what Trump does all the time, plead the fifth.
Yeah, yeah. You know, when Alex Jones is worried about Donald Trump, there's something wrong. Alex Jones just tweeted out, "This world stands on the brink of total destruction." Notice how he doesn't specifically, but he retweeted.
We were there 4 months ago, buddy.
Alex Jones retweeted the Elon Musk tweet about Epstein. Alex Jones retweeted that. So that's, I don't know, that's something. Take it for what you will. I appreciate the phone call. 70222. When Alex Jones isn't on your side, Donald Trump, you know something. You're in a lot of trouble. Let's go to Carl. Carl is next on PTL. What's up, Carl?
Well, Brian, how you doing?
Hey, good.
Listen, the problem is with this Epstein deal is where he can't get out of this, technically, legally, or any other way. I'll tell you why. Because he took the Epstein pedophile island trip 7 times. Trouble is, it's a private plane that Epstein owned. It left the continental limits of the United States, and people who are on those flights who do leave continental limits have to be reported to the Federal Aviation Commission, and they know he went to Pedophile Island at least 7 times. It's all in the government records, and that's why he doesn't want to release, because the government has it all in their files, and he's in big trouble. One reason. When you leave the continental limits of the United States, it has to be recorded of who you are and where you're going, basically.
Yeah. I'm with you,
So
Carl.
there's a big-
I'm with you, Carl. I don't disagree with you on that. We appreciate you. We're close to the end of the show right now, but we'll take a few more calls. Let's go to Vivian. Vivian is next up on PTL. Hi, Vivian.
Hi, Barry. How you doing?
Good.
I guess what I have to say is like about Carmine, right? He doesn't really know what he's talking about. If he remembers back when Barack Obama was president, he was held up from doing a whole lot of stuff that he could have done by Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell said he wanted to make him a one-term president, and he was holding up and stopping a whole lot of stuff that he wanted to get done. So I don't like that. And then I don't like the fact that everybody keeps calling it entitlement. It's not an entitlement. If we're paying for it, how can it be an entitlement? I think everybody should always push back on that word.
Yeah, well, obviously they think that Social Security, medical benefits, are entitlements.
Yeah, I paid into it for 45 years, and it's not entitlement.
Not an entitlement,
No.
Mo. I agree with you.
Yeah.
So, in the last 24 hours, or I should say in the last 6 hours, let's just try to rewind here a little bit. Elon Musk is claiming that Donald Trump is all over the Epstein files, and that's why they're not releasing it. Elon Musk is also calling on the impeachment of Donald Trump. Steve Bannon is calling for the deportation of Elon Musk.
Go back and
Elon
forth.
Musk has lost $150 billion in Tesla. This is crazy stuff. Since we do have a caller from the UK, I got to give him a minute here. What's up, Paul? Paul's calling in from the UK. What's up, Paul?
Yeah, hi. I'm sorry for calling in so late. I've been listening to the show. I mean, of course, Trump's in it up to his neck with Epstein and Epstein Island. He's had 25 women accuse him of sexual assault. He's confessed to sexual assault. He's been found liable in a civil court of sexual assault. He's made sexual comments about his own daughter. He's openly ogled young girls. Of course he's up. Of course he's done it. It's common sense, isn't it? The way to circumstantial evidence is crazy. And I'm sure Musk has got the evidence. If he wouldn't have said it, I'm sure he's got, the videos, the text.
The fact that Elon Musk waited this long to say something, though, speaks volumes about who he is as a human being as well. We can't forget that. I got to run because we're up against the clock, my friend. Thank you for calling in from the UK. We appreciate you.
Man, I missed that accent. I coached with the Great Britain national team.
Right.
2012 in the Olympics.
You were out there for a while.
Great accent.
Mo, my goal today, Mo, was to get through my audio. By the way, I didn't even get through half my audio. To discuss it with you, and then maybe to do a little NBA playoffs, but we'll have to do it next week.
Yeah,
have to take a rain check. We had a lot of breaking news today.
Yeah.
So crazy busy news day.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the way right-wing media is covering this story, but they're going to have to. But Mo, I do appreciate you being here. Who wins the NBA Finals, by the way?
It's going to be tough. I think it's tougher than people think. I think it's going to be a good series, but I have OKC in 7.
I think Indiana wins.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, I'm picking
You get
Indiana.
5-1 odds, I think.
Yeah, no, not that high.
Oh.
But I do think Indiana wins.
Yeah,
I do.
It's good. People are saying it's going to be a blowout. No way.
We'll
It's
have
gonna
to
be a
wait and
good
see.
series. Yeah.
Well, we'll have you back in
And
next
you know
week.
I'm terrible at picking.
Well, we'll go next week. Apparently, so is Donald Trump when it comes to certainly members of his administration and people like Elon Musk.
He gives
and
his
DOGE.
gold key to the wrong people.
Well, I have a feeling tomorrow is going to be a very busy show. I just have a feeling of that. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Check out the website, pushingthelimits.live. We're going to head to the YouTube Super Chat tomorrow, folks, and we appreciate everybody for your donations. Thank you very, very much. Pushingthelimits.live is the website where you can support us and what we do here, and we appreciate you guys being a part of the program, and we'll be back at it tomorrow, same time, same place, with some very special guests and probably a lot of breaking news tomorrow as well. Stay tuned to my YouTube page at PTL Radio Show, where we will give you some up-to-date stuff, and I'll give you guys some updates on there as well. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, everybody. Are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery